just fell on the floor. I was like beside myself. My husband came running around the corner and he's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "You don't want to see this."
In the wake of the tragedy ending in the loss of a young girl's life, a mother is struggling for answers. Good evening, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Elizabeth Coleman. This is the first time Stacey Owens has spoke publicly since the shocking news of her daughter Haley's death. Haley's accused killer, a middle school football coach, made his first appearance at a court hearing today. Craig Wood is accused of kidnapping and killing 10-year-old Haley in Springfield. Wood's public defender says his client will plead not guilty to the charges brought against him. According to court documents, Haley's body was found on Wednesday in Wood's basement. Police also found child pornography in the coach's home. The little girl was shot in the back of her head and her body showed signs of being tied up. Haley's family was at a brief hearing today where Wood appeared by video from a jail cell.
I know there's people out there like that, but why do they go after little kids or anything like that? You know, I mean, mind their own business. Yeah. I mean, especially, my little girl was my life. She was my Twinkie.
Haley's story has sparked conversations in some mid-Missouri schools about child safety. Teachers and counselors are talking to kids about what to do if they're approached by strangers. Susan McClintock has been teaching for almost 30 years and says, like all drills, she encourages students to practice what they learn at home. McClintock teaches 5th grade at Alpha Hart Lewis Elementary School in Columbia and says her goal is to prepare her students.
And when they make good choices, then they're aware of their environment, and then when they do that, then they're going to be okay. You can't want them to live in fear, you can't expect them to live in fear, you just have to have them and equip them with the best tools possible.
McClintock says her students will talk about current events early next week, and she plans to address Haley Owens' story.
The Missouri Supreme Court set its 5th execution date since November. Jeffrey Ferguson will be executed on March 26 for kidnapping, raping, and killing a 17-year-old girl. Ferguson abducted Kelly Hall from her job at service station in 1989. Her body was found 2 weeks later on a farm. An autopsy shows Hall was strangled to death after being raped.
City and county leaders spent the morning talking about schools, snow, and transit plans. Columbia Transit Supervisor Drew Brooks highlighted new routes and technologies the city is adding to buses. Leaders also discussed the successes and obstacles faced during the snow and ice storm a few weeks ago. They debated the problems with sidewalk clearing and the possibility of better tracking of plows. The meeting was an opportunity for several agencies to meet and work together on some of those shared goals.
We all need to make sure that we're communicating about our new projects, our new ideas, and figure out how we can start to work together and maybe combine our efforts to save the community money.
The group also talked about how the city can move forward with development given this week's news that a TIF district was voted down, and leaders discussed a timeline for construction of a new school on Scott Boulevard.
The Columbia City Council met this morning to discuss how the city can move forward with the development after voting down a controversial tax increment financing plan. KOMU8's Doug Hoffman is here with more on how one developer is trying to move in even though it can't.
Last night, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to rezone land near the MU campus to allow a developer to build a new student housing complex. American Campus Communities wants to build a 5-story, 718-bed student complex on Providence Road near Turner Avenue. The complex also plans to build a parking garage with 546 spaces, which is more than required by the city. The plans conflict with a freeze on new development downtown until the city can improve its aging infrastructure. City council members said they turned down the TIF because they didn't think taxes were the fairest way to pay for those improvements. Even though council turned down the TIF, Planning and Zoning gave them the go-ahead for the new complex.
That was basically what the Planning and Zoning Commission's charge is to deal with zoning issues, regardless of what other items may have an effect on its success.
The Planning and Zoning Commission warned American Campus Communities it could run into issues with the city when trying to build, but the city wanted to get the property zoned anyway.
Today, Missouri entrepreneurs shared professional advice to those interested in opening up a business of their own. Take a look. You may recognize these T-shirts sold around Columbia. They were created by a Missouri entrepreneur who started his business in his college dorm room. 5 Pound Apparel CEO Brian Simpson started his business using Google and self-help books. Simpson says that he believes anyone can own a business.
You know, in a sense, anyone can. I think the primary thing is to find something that you're passionate about. Because when you're passionate about something, it doesn't become a job, it doesn't become anything, it's just your life. It's something that you love to do.
Simpson is 25 years old. He says starting a business while you're young gives you more time to overcome obstacles.
The post office held a job fair today at its downtown headquarters in downtown Columbia. It is looking to fill 15 mail carrier positions. Postal representatives were there to answer questions job seekers had. Postal worker Cheryl Thompson says one of the positions will require employees to have their own vehicle, but maintenance allowance is provided. Thompson says there are some requirements on who can apply.
They must be 18 years of age. They must have a driver's license for 2 years, no felonies, and a clean record. And we do a postal exam and a drug test as well.
Thompson says the position will pay $15 per hour and provides opportunity for advancement. The positions will remain open until they are filled.
If you have some bills to pay online to the City of Columbia, you need to do it now or you'll be stuck waiting a few days. Columbia's Information Technologies Department will perform system maintenance to the online billing system from 10 o'clock tonight until 5 p.m. on Sunday. During this period, you won't be able to use the system to make utility payments or pay building permit fees. Well, our warm and sunny days like today are getting numbered, so let's check in with Kenton to see what's in store for the weekend.
That's right, Brittany, but we did see quite a bit of warm temperatures today out there. We got up into the 50s. It was a pretty mild day for us here in Missouri, considering we're normally in the mid-40s. Otherwise, right now across the United States, we're seeing pretty warm temperatures out there. 63 right now in Tulsa, 64 in Lubbock, Texas, while we are in the 50s here in Missouri. 15-mile-an-hour winds here in Columbia. A little bit of heavy winds here just in central Missouri, but that's all going to die down as we head overnight tonight. And along with our die down of our winds, we're also going to see our temperatures drop down a little bit as well, down into the 30s. But we'll talk about your full forecast coming up in a little bit, and it does include a cool down.
It's a mindless task we do just about every day. Why buckling up is especially important this weekend.
A former MU football player's big announcement sent shockwaves around the nation. What you think about our coverage of the story?